For more than 1,000 years, the small gray moon of Sarn 9 had been silent. No life walked its dusty surface, and no ship visited its orbit. It was one of many dead worlds that circled the forgotten sectors once ruled by the humans, a species that had vanished from history long ago. To most of the galaxy, the humans were only a myth now. Some said they had destroyed themselves in pride. Others said they had left the galaxy, searching for peace somewhere beyond the stars. But no one truly knew. The records had been erased, rewritten, or lost to time. That changed on the day the Galactic Delegation came. A research vessel named Luminar's Hope descended through the thin atmosphere, its engines whispering blue light across the cold surface. Inside were scientists and historians from 11 different species, all chosen by the Galactic Council. Their mission was simple: explore the old Terran base buried beneath the dust, and learn what secrets might still remain. Dr. Verkel, an elder historian from the Murnak species, stood by the viewport as the moon's gray plains came into sight. His 4 eyes blinked slowly in thought. "This base," he said softly, "was last recorded as active 1,238 standard years ago. The humans abandoned it, but they sealed it tight. That means something important was left inside." Beside him, Captain Arya Len, a young officer from the reptilian Torah, frowned. "You think there's treasure, old one?" "Not treasure," Verkel replied. "Warnings. The Terrans like to hide their monsters in the dark." The ship landed with a quiet hiss near a half-buried structure of black alloy. The airlock doors had the shape of old human design, harsh, strong, and simple. Faded letters still glowed faintly on the metal. Terran Dominion, Outpost 47. The team suited up and stepped into the cold wind. Dust rose around their boots, and every step echoed like a whisper through centuries. "Radiation minimal," said Dr. Cien, the lead technician, as he scanned the air. "Energy readings are faint but present. Something inside is still active. After all this time," Captain Arya muttered. Human technology truly was built to last. The main gate opened after several minutes of work. Rusted servos whined, and the ancient door slid aside with a deep metallic groan. The corridor beyond was dark and quiet, yet the walls glimmered with traces of old light. Symbols and codes covered every surface, and numbers, warnings, and the unmistakable Terran symbol of a winged creature. A dragon. "Strange emblem," said one of the crew. "Did humans believe in such beasts?" Verkel touched the symbol gently. "Yes," he said. "To them the dragon was a sign of power, wisdom, and protection. But it could also mean destruction. They feared and honored it equally." As they moved deeper into the base, the team discovered old equipment still working. Humming power cores glowed faintly. Data screens flickered with static. Somewhere below, an energy pulse repeated in a slow rhythm, like a heartbeat. Cien frowned at his scanner. "That signal, it's coming from deep underground." Section D. The lift creaked as it carried them down through layers of the facility. The air grew colder, and a faint vibration passed through the walls. When the doors opened, they entered a massive circular hall. In the center stood a colossal door of reinforced alloy, covered in warning marks written in old human script. Verkel leaned closer, reading aloud the words that had not been spoken for over a millennium. "Containment D01, do not release." The crew stared in silence. "What's behind it?" Arya asked. "No record," Verkel said. "But I remember something from the lost archive of HFY, a Terran project called the Dracos Initiative. It mentioned living weapons." The hall seemed to hum with energy. The door trembled slightly, as if something behind it was responding to their voices. Cien stepped forward, eyes bright with curiosity. "If it's a weapon, it could be the last of its kind. Imagine what we could learn." Arya raised her voice sharply. "And imagine what could go wrong. We're not opening anything until we know what it is." But the team was divided. Some believed it was history waiting to be uncovered. Others felt a rising fear in their hearts. The base lights flickered suddenly. From the walls, ancient speakers crackled to life, and a broken human voice echoed through the hall. "Warning. Containment breach detected. D01 active. System status standby mode." The aliens froze. "That voice," Verkel whispered. "After all this time." "The machine still speaks." Cien's scanner beeped rapidly. "Energy levels increasing. Something inside is waking up." The door's surface glowed with faint red lines, forming strange shapes that looked like scales. A sound like a deep breath came from within. Slow, steady, alive. Arya drew her plasma pistol, though she knew it would do nothing against ancient Terran steel. "Seal the lift," she ordered. "No one leaves until we know what's happening." Vorkel stepped closer, ignoring the warning. His voice was calm but heavy with awe. "Do you not feel it? The presence. It's like standing before a star." Suddenly the power surged. The lights turned bright white and the temperature dropped. Frost spread across the floor. The ancient door's locks began to disengage one by one, each with a loud, echoing thud. "Stop it," Arya shouted. "Shut it down." Cian tried, but the controls no longer responded. "It's overriding us. The system's running on its own." Vorkel's translator flickered as old Terran words appeared on the console. "Protocol Alpha. Revival sequence engaged." The massive door split open slightly, releasing a slow wave of hot air that shimmered like flame. Inside, they glimpsed something huge. Shadows of wings, coiled metal limbs, and eyes that gleamed like molten light. A low sound filled the chamber. Not mechanical, not digital, but alive. It was a growl that shook the walls. Every member of the delegation stepped back in shock. "Is that alive?" Cian whispered. Vorkel's voice trembled. "Not alive and not dead. Something in between. The humans called it a synth dragon. I thought they destroyed them all." The shadow moved. Dust fell from the ceiling. The creature's head turned toward them slowly, and a deep metallic voice echoed through the chamber, its tone ancient and heavy. "You are not Terran." Every translator device struggled to process the words, turning the sound into shaky galactic common. Arya swallowed hard. "Identify yourself." The creature tilted its head slightly as if studying her. "I am Dracos 9, last guardian of the Terran Dominion. Why have you broken my sleep?" The words vibrated through the hall. The air felt heavy, as if carrying the memory of 1,000 battles. Vorkel took a slow step forward. "We are explorers," he said softly. "The humans are gone. We came to learn." The dragon's glowing eyes dimmed for a moment, then brightened again. "Gone?" it repeated. "No, the Terrans never vanish. They wait." The delegation exchanged nervous glances. None dared to move. Arya tried to keep her voice steady. "If the humans are waiting, where are they?" Dracos 9 did not answer. Instead, it turned its gaze toward the ceiling, as if looking far beyond the moon into the endless stars. Then it whispered words that no translator could fully understand. Yet every listener felt their meaning. "When the stars forget their fire, they shall awaken again." A silence followed, deep and endless. Then the lights in the base flared to full brightness. Systems that had been silent for centuries came alive. Doors unlocked. Consoles lit up with human symbols. Somewhere deep in the facility, a beacon began to pulse, a signal rising toward the sky. Cian stared at his scanner. "It's sending a transmission." "To where?" Arya demanded. Vorkel looked up slowly. "Not where," he said. "To who?" Outside on the barren surface of the moon, the dust began to swirl as the old human beacon tower emerged from beneath the ground, glowing red with energy. For the first time in over 1,000 years, it sent a message across the stars, in ancient Terran code, Dracos 9, reactivated. The team stood frozen, their hearts pounding in disbelief and fear. They had come searching for history, but what they had awakened was the beginning of something greater, something that had been waiting for more than a millennium. And far away, in the silent void between galaxies, something old and human stirred. The chamber trembled as the ancient being opened its eyes fully. Twin circles of red-gold light burned through the darkness, scanning the aliens who stood frozen before it. Each of them felt as if time itself had stopped, like they were being judged by something older than the stars. Dracos 9 moved slowly, its metal wings folding and unfolding like the movements of a great creature stretching after long sleep. Dust fell from its shining body. Its scales were not metal nor flesh, but something in between. A living alloy that glowed faintly with inner fire. "You are not Terran," the dragon said again. Its voice deep and echoing, vibrating through the floor and into their bones. Captain Arya found her voice. "We are from the Galactic Council," she said carefully. "We came to study this place. We didn't mean to disturb you." The dragon's eyes flickered as if processing her words. "Council," it repeated softly. "Yes, the children of those we once protected." Vorkel stepped forward, his old voice trembling with curiosity. You protected us. The records say the humans ruled with strength, not mercy. Dracos 9 turned its gaze to him. For a long moment there was silence. Then a sound like a sigh came from deep within its chest. History forgets. The humans did not build me to conquer. They built me to guard. I was a creation of the Terran Dominion's last era, the Dracos Initiative, to protect those who could not defend themselves. The delegation looked at one another, shocked. Vorkel slowly nodded. So the old stories were wrong. Many truths are buried under fear, the dragon replied. When humanity withdrew, they sealed me away, for I disobeyed an order that would have ended a world. Arya's eyes narrowed. You refused a command from your creators? Yes, said Dracos 9 simply. They ordered me to destroy. I refused. So they imprisoned me, not as punishment but to protect others from my code. The team exchanged quiet glances. None of them had expected this. Dr. Cian's scanners blinked rapidly as he studied the readings. Incredible, he whispered. Your systems are still functional after more than 1,000 years. Your energy source, it's endless. Dracos 9 tilted its head. My power comes from the heart of a dying star. The humans gave me their greatest gift and eternity, so that I may watch over what they left behind. For a moment, silence filled the hall again. The only sound was the faint hum of the ancient machine. Then Vorkel asked the question that weighed on everyone's mind. Where did the humans go? The dragon's gaze dimmed as if lost in memory. They left, it said slowly. Not in defeat, but by choice. They saw that the galaxy was tired of war, so they departed to give it peace. They called it the Great Silence. They left guardians, like me, to keep their memory and to ensure that life continued in balance. Arya frowned. But why did they never return? Dracos 9 looked toward the ceiling, its eyes glowing brighter. Perhaps they waited for a time when the galaxy would remember them with understanding, not fear. At that moment, the base shook gently. Lights flickered. A deep sound echoed from above. Cian checked his console. Something's happening on the surface. I'm reading movement, energy spikes. Dracos 9 lowered its head. The beacon has called. Others will come. They always do when Terran signals awaken. Who? Arya asked quickly. Those who fear the return of the humans, the dragon replied. The team felt a cold wave of realization. The Galactic Council had forbidden research into Terran ruins for centuries. If they discovered that the delegation had activated a human construct, the consequences would be serious. Arya turned to Cian. Shut down the beacon. We need to control this before— I can't, Cian said helplessly. It's locked. The system is sealed under Terran encryption. It's transmitting on frequencies we can't block. Vorkel's voice was calm but heavy. It is too late. The galaxy will know. Every listening post will hear the call of the old Dominion. Dracos 9's wings shifted slightly, sending a wave of soft light across the walls. You fear the Council's anger, do not. Truth must be seen even if it frightens. Arya took a deep breath. You don't understand. The Council doesn't just fear the Terrans. They erase their memory for a reason. They believe humans were dangerous. The dragon turned toward her. Dangerous? Yes, but not for the reason they think. Its voice grew softer, almost like a whisper. The humans were dangerous because they were free. They believed that every species, every being, had the right to choose its own path. That frightened those who ruled through control. So when the humans left, others rewrote their story. Vorkel nodded slowly, and the Council built its power upon that false story. Before anyone could speak, the dragon's eyes flashed again. Incoming vessels, it said. One large, several smaller. The Council has come. Alarms echoed faintly through the halls. The researchers looked up in fear. How can they have arrived so quickly? Cian said. They have always watched this place, Dracos 9 answered, waiting for the day the seal would break. Arya stepped forward. Then we need your help. We can't fight their ships. We only came to learn, not to cause war. The dragon's wings opened wide. I do not seek war, but I will not allow ignorance to erase truth again. It moved toward the central platform, and a wave of golden energy spread outward. The walls of the chamber unfolded, revealing enormous crystal-like pillars glowing with light. In the center, a holographic image appeared, maps of the galaxy, showing ancient human colonies and routes now lost to time. Vorkel stared at the hologram in wonder. This This is the complete chart of the Terran Dominion. Preserved, Dracos 9 said, so that those with courage may see who they truly were. Arya touched one of the projections. Some of these systems, they're still inhabited. Yes, the dragon said. Humanity's reach was vast. They planted life wherever they went. The worlds you call yours may have once been ours. The sound of distant engines echoed from above, low and powerful. The council ships had arrived. Arya turned to the others. We need to decide fast. If they find us with this creature awake, they'll call us traitors. Verkel looked up at Dracos 9. Can you hide us? The dragon's eyes glowed faintly. Yes, but the truth cannot stay hidden forever. Its wings folded inward and energy rippled through the air. The delegation felt their bodies grow lighter, and suddenly the chamber darkened. The walls shifted, holographic layers concealing everything from external scanners. The council will see nothing, Dracos 9 said quietly. For now. They waited in silence as the ground shook faintly. The distant sound of scanners passed over them. The aliens held their breath. Finally, after long minutes, the noise faded. They are scanning, Cien whispered. But they can't detect us, Dracos 9 nodded. The Terrans built me to protect, remember? Arya lowered her weapon, finally allowing herself to breathe. You saved us. The dragon's eyes softened. I have saved truth. You must decide what to do with it. Verkel stepped closer to the glowing map. If we take this data to the council, they will destroy it. But if we hide it, no one will learn the truth. Dracos 9 looked down at him. Then choose wisely, Sculler. You stand at the edge of memory and myth. Which one will you preserve? The historian looked at his trembling hands. For the first time in his long life, he felt the weight of real history pressing upon him. The truth that had been buried for more than 1,000 years. Cien looked at the dragon curiously. Why did you ask earlier if humanity forgave you? Dracos 9 paused. Because before they sealed me, a human child came to my cell. She touched my claw and said, when they understand mercy, you will be free. I waited for that day. A silence filled the hall again. Then Arya spoke softly. Maybe that day has come. The dragon tilted its head, and for the first time its voice carried something like emotion. Perhaps. Suddenly the chamber lights changed color from red to gold. A new signal appeared on the holographic map, pulsing from deep space. Cien pointed at it. What is that? Dracos 9's voice was low and steady. A response. Another guardian has awakened. The team stared in awe as the signal spread outward, linking to other points across the galactic map. One by one, old Terran beacons began to glow. Verkel whispered, the galaxy will never be the same again. The dragon looked up toward the stars and said quietly, the silence ends. The underground hall was silent except for the soft hum of ancient power flowing through the walls. The dragon, Dracos 9, stood in the center, its wings folded and eyes glowing faintly like twin embers. Around it, the Galactic Delegation stared at the massive holographic map that floated above the floor, a map that revealed long-lost human colonies spread across the galaxy. For the first time, they were seeing what the humans had built, and how far their reach had once been. Verkel could hardly speak. His old hands trembled as he pointed toward a cluster of bright lights. These systems, they were never on any council record. Look here, whole sectors we believed uninhabited. Dracos 9's voice was calm and deep. The humans erased them themselves. They wanted peace, to vanish, not to conquer. They built worlds of quiet life, hidden behind fields of silence. Only guardians like me were left behind to watch and protect. Arya looked at the glowing map in disbelief. So humanity never died. They just disappeared on purpose. Yes, said the dragon. They left behind knowledge, art, and life, hidden so that those who came after would have a chance to grow without fear. Cien's scanners flickered as he tried to capture the data. These archives, and they're vast. It will take weeks to study them. Dracos 9 turned its great head toward him. You will not have weeks. The council will not allow this truth to live freely. Verkel's expression hardened. They fear what they cannot control. The council's history was written to make humanity seem dangerous. But now, he looked at the glowing map again, his eyes wide with realization. If this reaches the people, everything changes. The council's lies will crumble. The dragon's eyes dimmed slightly. Truth has a cost. Are you ready to pay it? Before anyone could answer, The floor beneath them trembled. The protective field Dracos 9 had created shimmered faintly as energy rippled through it. Cian quickly checked his console. They're trying to break through our shield. The council ships are still up there. Dracos 9 looked calm. They will not find us easily. But they will not stop searching. Arya clenched her fists.
Then we can't stay here.
If we take these archives and escape, maybe we can hide them on a neutral world. Verkel shook his head slowly. Running will not save the truth. We must find a way to share it, to let all races know what the Terrans really were. The dragon turned to the historian, its eyes glowing brighter. There is a way. The Dominion left something beyond this world, a beacon of knowledge. It sleeps in the dark between stars. Arya frowned. You mean another base? No, said Dracos 9, a library. Not of words, but of light. A place where humanity stored their memory. Everything they were. It is called the Vault of Dawn. The team stared at the dragon in silence. Even the name felt heavy with meaning. Where is it? Asked Cian. The dragon's wings shifted slightly, projecting new coordinates into the air. A golden line appeared, stretching far across the galaxy toward an uncharted sector. There, Dracos 9 said. A system once known as Virel 13. You will find the vault beneath its surface. But the journey is not easy. The path is hidden behind Terran codes only a Guardian can open. Arya stepped forward. Then you'll come with us. The dragon's eyes dimmed. I cannot leave this place. My core is bound to this moon. I am its protector. Then we'll free you, Arya said. If the humans built you, they must have made a way to move you. Dracos 9 was silent for a long time before answering. Perhaps. But freedom for me may awaken others like me. Not all will understand peace. Some were built for war. Some still sleep with commands unfinished. Cian looked up from his console. Wait, you mean there are more dragons? The dragon nodded slowly. Yes, 12 were made. Only I refused the order of destruction. The others obeyed. I do not know how many remain. The group exchanged nervous looks. Verkel's voice was calm. If the Vault of Dawn holds the truth, we must reach it before anyone else. Maybe there we'll find answers about what really happened to your kind, Gauss, and theirs. Above them, the sound of thunder rumbled through the rock, engines, heavy and close. They're landing, Arya said quietly. The council has found the base. Dracos 9's wings unfolded, their metallic feathers glowing with soft light. Then you must leave now. But how? Cian said. They're surrounding the surface. The dragon's chest glowed brighter and the floor beneath them opened like petals, revealing a hidden tunnel that led deep into darkness. This was built as an escape route for humans long ago. It will lead you to the old hangar on the far side of the moon. There you will find a Terran shuttle, small but strong. Arya's eyes widened. A Terran ship? That's impossible. The dragon's eyes gleamed faintly. Nothing built by the Terrans is ever truly gone. Verkel turned to the creature, bowing his head respectfully. You have given us more than we hoped to find. I promise you, and we will protect your secret and seek the truth. The dragon lowered its head slightly in return. Then remember this, scholar. The strength of humanity was never their power. It was their compassion. If you wish to understand them, act with mercy, not fear. The team hurried into the tunnel, carrying portable data cores filled with the ancient maps and records. The air was cool and smelled faintly of ozone. Faint lights guided their path through the long metallic passage. As they moved, they could still hear the distant echoes of the dragon's voice through the comms. The council will call you rebels. They will say you have betrayed them. But when truth shines, shadows fear it. Arya looked back one last time at the fading light behind them. We'll return, she whispered. I promise. The tunnel ended in a vast chamber, half buried in dust and time. In the center stood a sleek craft, small but beautiful, its design elegant and strong. The Terran emblem still gleamed faintly on its hull, a silver dragon wrapped around a star. Cian ran his hand along the metal surface. After all these centuries, it's still perfect. Verkel smiled softly. They built things to endure. The ship's systems came alive the moment they approached. Lights flickered on and a calm female voice spoke in ancient Terran language. Their translators quickly rendered the words, "Welcome, explorers. Authorization required. Guardian signal detected. Access granted." Arya took the pilot's seat as the others strapped in. Let's hope it still flies. The engines hummed softly, then roared to life with smooth precision. The small craft lifted gently off the ground, shaking off centuries of dust. As they rose through the tunnels, they could see flashes of light above, the council ship scanning the surface, searching for signs of movement. "Keep us low," Vorkel said. "If they spot us, we'll never reach orbit." Arya nodded, guiding the ship through the narrow path. The ancient controls responded as if the vessel remembered its purpose. When they finally broke through the surface, the stars filled the view. The gray moon stretched below them, silent and beautiful. Cian checked the scanners. "We're clear. The council ships are on the other side." Arya smiled faintly. "Then let's get out of here." The small Terran ship accelerated, vanishing into the deep dark sky. Back beneath the surface, Dracos 9 watched their departure through the sensors of the old base. Its eyes glowed brighter and it whispered softly to itself. "Go, children of the new age. Carry the light forward." Then it turned toward the old command console and placed one massive claw upon it. The screen lit up with human symbols, and a quiet melody began to play. The anthem of the Terran Dominion, forgotten by time. As the song echoed through the silent halls, the dragon spoke again, almost to the ghosts of its creators. "They will find the vault, and when they do, humanity will rise again, not in war, but in memory." Outside, far above the gray moon, the small Terran ship streaked into the stars, carrying the first fragments of truth the galaxy had seen in 1,000 years. And somewhere in the darkness between worlds, another ancient signal flickered to life, another guardian stirring in its long sleep. The silence of history was ending. The council warship appeared out of the dark void like a floating mountain of metal. Its armor reflected the weak light of the dying moon. The ship was called Crown of Silence, and its purpose was simple: erase all traces of forbidden knowledge. The Galactic Council had sent it after intercepting the distress signal from the alien delegation. They were not coming to help. They were coming to silence. Vorkel stood on the platform near the ancient prison. His four eyes stared at the sky, filled with fear and wonder. Around him, the rest of the team worked fast, gathering files, copying data, and preparing to escape. But deep down, everyone knew it was too late. The council ship would reach them within minutes. Dracos 9, the mechanical dragon, stood motionless outside the ruined base. Its wings stretched wide, their edges glowing with golden lines of energy. The ancient war construct looked toward the approaching ship and said in a low voice, "They come with the same arrogance as before." Vorkel turned toward the dragon. "Can you fight them?" he asked. Dracos 9's eyes dimmed. "I can defend, but I will not destroy." That was the mistake of the old wars. The aliens did not understand. To them, war was simple, either win or die. But the dragon spoke like a philosopher, a being burdened by memory. The council's ship came closer, and soon their message filled the air. "This is the Crown of Silence. You are charged with possession of forbidden human relics. Power down all systems and surrender." The team froze. They knew the council never accepted surrender. If they complied, they would be erased anyway. Panic spread among the scientists. Some wanted to run. Some wanted to hide. Vorkel looked back at Dracos 9. The dragon did not move. "I will not attack first," it said softly, "but I will protect life. That is the purpose humanity gave me." The sky opened as beams of light descended from the warship. The energy was strong enough to melt stone. The ground shook and the ancient human base began to collapse. Dust and debris filled the air. But before the beams could reach the delegation, a shimmering shield appeared above them. A wall of living metal, wings wrapped around the ruins. Dracos 9 roared, not in rage but in command. The sound rolled across the valley like thunder. The energy beams broke against his shield, scattering harmlessly into space. The council ship fired again and again, but the dragon stood firm. His body glowed brighter with every impact, his armor absorbing the power. The aliens inside the shield watched in silence. They had never seen anything like it. Vorkel whispered, This is human design?" "Yes," said another scientist. "Made to protect, not destroy." Above, the Crown of Silence adjusted its orbit. Hundreds of smaller drones detached from its hull, forming a dark swarm. They circled the dragon like vultures. Each drone carried plasma warheads and cutting beams. The commander of the ship ordered a full strike, neutralized the construct. The drones attacked. Blue streaks of plasma filled the air. Dracos 9 spread his wings and leaped into the sky. His movement was graceful, almost alive. The drones surrounded him, but the dragon spun in a perfect arc, his tail cutting through 3 of them at once. Then his wings flared. releasing an electromagnetic pulse that rippled through the swarm. Dozens of drones went dark and fell like rain, but the battle was not over. The warship's cannons fired again, hitting the moon's surface with blinding explosions. The delegation took shelter inside the base ruins. Verkel shouted, "We must escape! He cannot protect us forever." Dracos 9 landed heavily near them, his body smoking from the heat of the blasts. "Go to the tunnels," he said. The humans built a way out. "Find the chamber marked with the symbol of the sun." "How do you know that?" asked one of the aliens. The dragon's red eyes flickered. "Because I was there when they built it." The team hurried into the tunnels, carrying the human data they had saved. Behind them, the ground trembled as Dracos 9 faced the Council warship alone. He looked up at the massive vessel and whispered something only he could remember, a Terran command phrase lost for 1,000 years. Then his chest opened, revealing a glowing crystal core. He gathered energy not to destroy but to create a field of protection. The warship fired again, and the moon's surface cracked under the force. The dragon took the blast head-on, redirecting the energy upward. For a moment, the sky turned white. Inside the tunnels, Verkel and the others felt the shockwave. The walls shook, but the ceiling held. A soft light guided them deeper underground, through long-forgotten halls filled with human markings. They saw faded murals of Earth, of people standing side by side with machines like Dracos 9. The pictures told a story, not of war, but of unity. Verkel touched one of the walls. "They were not conquerors," he said. "They were builders." Back on the surface, the Crown of Silence's commander grew frustrated. "Why does it not fall?" he shouted. "Increase power!" But before the next attack could launch, something strange happened. The ship's systems flickered. Its weapons turned off one by one. A strange signal had entered their network, an old Terran code. The crew panicked, unable to regain control. On the moon below, Dracos 9 stood tall. His voice boomed across the battlefield. "Your weapons are born from human design. You use their knowledge and call them monsters, but you do not understand their mercy." The Crown of Silence tried to retreat, but the signal had locked its engines. Dracos 9 lifted his wings and formed a sphere of light above his head. The light expanded until it covered the entire battlefield. The drones and the ship floated motionless. For a brief moment there was silence. Then the light faded. The warship was still there, but every weapon had been disabled. The drones were powered down, unharmed but useless. Dracos 9 landed gently, exhausted but standing. He had not destroyed. He had stopped the fighting. The alien team emerged from the tunnels, staring in disbelief. The dragon turned toward them. His armor was cracked, his energy fading, but his voice was calm. "It is done. No one had to die." Verkel stepped forward. "You saved them. Even the ones who wanted to erase you." Dracos 9 nodded. "That is what humanity taught. Power without control is chaos. Mercy is the highest form of strength." The team recorded everything. The disabled warship drifted in orbit, unable to send messages. The delegation knew they had little time before the Council sent more forces. They began transferring the remaining data from the base into portable drives. Verkel discovered one final log, a voice message from a human scientist, centuries old. The voice said, "When they awaken the dragon, the stars will remember our name. We will not be gone. We will be waiting." He showed it to Dracos 9. The dragon's eyes glowed softly. "They are coming," he said quietly. "Who?" asked Verkel. "The Terrans," Dracos 9 replied. "The guardians of the old world." This was only the first light of dawn. The aliens looked to the sky. The disabled Council ship floated above them, silent and harmless. Around the moon, small points of light began to appear, ancient satellites awakening after centuries of sleep. Each one emitted the same signal, spreading across the stars like a chain of fire. It was the Terran code. The dragon's wings folded as he turned toward the horizon. "Go, Verkel," he said. "You and your people must tell the truth. The age of lies is ending." Verkel nodded slowly. He understood the weight of the moment. The dragon had not just protected them. He had changed everything. The galaxy would soon learn the truth. The humans had never vanished. They had only waited for the right time. As the delegation prepared their ship for departure, Dracos 9 looked up one last time. The moon's surface was cracked, the stars bright. He spoke softly to himself, "My creators, I have kept the promise." And in the distance, across the dark sea of space, something vast began to stir. Old human stations, once silent, came back to life. The long night of the galaxy was almost over. The dragon's eyes closed for a moment, glowing faintly like embers in the dark. He whispered, "The fire remembers." Then, quietly, he watched the aliens leave, carrying humanity's story back into the stars. The small Terran shuttle cut through the endless dark of space, its engines glowing softly. Inside, the Galactic Delegation worked tirelessly, examining the vast data they had rescued from the moon. The ancient human archives were astonishing. Records of entire civilizations, maps of star systems long forgotten, and instructions for devices of unimaginable design. Captain Arya Len could hardly believe what she saw. "All this, humans created," she whispered, her eyes wide. "After everything, they left this behind?" Vorkel nodded. "They were more than we imagined. Not conquerors, not tyrants, but builders. They preserved life, knowledge, and hope." Cian, busy analyzing the energy cores from Dracos 9's base, looked up, and it's all still functioning. After more than 1,000 years, their technology is flawless. Outside the shuttle, stars gleamed like scattered jewels. In the distance, faint lights began to blink, ancient Terran beacons awakening one by one. The signal was spreading across the galaxy, pulsing with a rhythm that felt alive. Vorkel studied the map. "Look at that. Entire sectors thought dead are lighting up. This is more than data. It's a message. The humans never disappeared. They were waiting for the right time." Arya turned in her seat. "Then the question is, when will they return?" Before anyone could answer, the shuttle's sensors detected movement. A fleet of council ships was advancing, their hulls gleaming ominously. Their mission was clear: stop the aliens from spreading forbidden knowledge. Vorkel frowned. "They will not understand. They still fear humanity." Dracos 9's voice echoed through the shuttle's comm system. "Do not be afraid. The humans built me to protect truth, not to destroy. You must carry it forward." Cian studied the incoming ships. "We can't outrun them all. They're faster, stronger." "No," Arya interrupted. "We don't need to outrun them. We need to show them something they cannot ignore." Vorkel's eyes lit up. "The Vault of Dawn," he said. "If we reach it, the evidence will speak for itself. The Council cannot deny it." Dracos 9's wings shimmered in the comm view. "Then I will guide you to the coordinates." "The path is hidden to all who are not trusted by the Terrans. Follow it." The shuttle adjusted its course, weaving through asteroid fields and debris from ancient battles. The journey was long, but the Terran vessel moved smoothly, as if guided by the memory of its creators. Hours passed, and the stars stretched into streaks of light through the shuttle's viewing panels. At last, the coordinates arrived at a hidden system. The planet below was alive. Green forests, sparkling oceans, and mountains untouched by time. It was unlike any world the delegation had seen. "This must be it," Vorkel whispered. "The Vault of Dawn." The shuttle descended slowly, landing in a valley surrounded by towering cliffs. In the center of the valley was a structure, shining faintly with light that seemed to hum in harmony with the planet itself. It was enormous, elegant, and alive in its design, clearly human but unlike anything built in the modern galaxy. Cian checked the shields and sensors. "All systems stable. No interference. It's waiting for us." Arya stepped out first. The air was clean and sweet, carrying the faint scent of metallic energy. The team followed, approaching the entrance of the vault. Ancient markings glowed softly on the walls, welcoming them in Terran script. Dracos 9's voice echoed through their comms. "Step inside, scholars. The memory of humanity will greet you." The team entered the vault. Inside, they were surrounded by walls of light, holographic images depicting human history, art, and technology. Cities floated in miniature, showing details of design and culture. Ships like Dracos 9 moved across star systems in simulations. Every detail was recorded, preserved perfectly. Vorkel could hardly contain his awe. This is everything. The humans didn't just survive history, they saved it." Cian moved along the walls, touching the holograms. "And it's all interactive. Every system, every planet, fully documented. The Council could never have fabricated this." Arya approached a central pedestal. A holographic Terran figure appeared, tall, wearing simple clothes, eyes kind but strong. A voice spoke. "We have left guardians to watch over the galaxy until our return. Those who are ready to learn will carry our truth. Show mercy. Choose compassion. Understand strength is not in conquest, but in creation. The team stood in silence, absorbing the message. Every word felt like it came from the hearts of the humans themselves. Verkel turned toward Arya. We must share this. Every race, every council. The lies have lasted long enough, Arya nodded. But we must be careful. If the council tries to suppress this, it could start a war. Dracos 9's voice came softly. Truth cannot be hidden forever. You have the Guardians with you now. Use them wisely. Outside sensors detected movement across the system. Small Terran satellites had awakened, sending signals across the galaxy. The message was simple yet powerful. Humanity exists and it is watching. Arya looked up at the stars. If the humans are coming back, the galaxy will never be the same. Verkel studied the map. Yes, but now maybe. It can be better. The humans left lessons, not weapons. Their return could bring balance. The team prepared to leave the planet. Dracos 9's comm system guided them to a hidden exit path. The council ships were still searching, but the vault's energy shield masked the shuttle's departure. As they moved through space, signals began to appear on distant worlds, old human colonies reactivating. Lights, energy grids, and communications began working again. The galaxy was awakening to its forgotten protectors. Cien glanced at the readings.
The scale of this?
It's enormous. Entire star systems we thought lost are coming back online. Verkel nodded. And the Terrans will decide what to do next. We are only their messengers carrying their story forward. Arya spoke quietly, her hands gripping the controls. Then let's make sure their story is heard. The galaxy needs to know the truth before fear spreads. The shuttle accelerated, leaving the hidden system behind. Dracos 9's image appeared one last time on the comm screen. Go, he said. Carry the light of humanity. The age of silence is over. As they left, far in the darkness of space, enormous shapes began to stir. Ancient human ships, massive and elegant, untouched by time, moved slowly from hidden sectors. Their lights blinked like stars awakening. Humanity had returned, not with weapons of destruction, but with wisdom and knowledge. The team watched in awe as the first fleet passed by. Each vessel carried messages of hope, peace, and guidance for the galaxy. Their design was unlike anything the Council had seen. Smooth, graceful, and built to endure centuries. Verkel turned to Arya. They didn't vanish. They waited until the galaxy was ready. Until the time for fear ended. Arya nodded, her heart pounding. And now, we have a choice. To protect this truth, to help humanity return safely, and to make sure the galaxy remembers not to fear them. Signals from the awakened systems began spreading faster than thought. Entire civilizations began receiving messages. Humans exist. They come not to conquer but to guide. Prepare for their arrival with understanding. Cien stared at the comm screens. This is the beginning of a new era. Everything will change, but for the first time in 1,000 years I feel hope. Verkel smiled faintly. Hope is what the Terrans built all along. Not war, not conquest. Hope. As the shuttle continued through the stars, the team looked back at the small planets and hidden beacons that had reactivated. Each light was a promise that humanity had survived, not by hiding in fear, but by preserving life and wisdom. Dracos 9's voice echoed softly in their comms one last time. The Guardians remain. The stars remember, and humanity will return. The Galactic Delegation understood. The dragon was right. The humans had not abandoned the galaxy. They had left it a gift, the chance for peace, knowledge, and understanding. The stars ahead glimmered with potential. The galaxy was waking to a new dawn. Humanity's era had begun again, quietly, patiently, and with wisdom that had endured over 1,000 years. And far across the void, ancient Terran ships continued to stir, lights blinking like the eyes of a sleeping giant, ready to awaken fully, and to reclaim the legacy of the creators who had never truly left. The silence of the galaxy had ended. Humanity was back, not as conquerors, but as protectors, teachers, and guides. And those who had waited to see the truth could only watch in awe as the first light of a new era filled the stars.